Do you think the Eagles need to just clean house at this point?
Oh, yeah, there's no other. I mean, like, look, I'm the one. Yes, the answer is yes. I'm the one coming out always and killing Carson Wentz because I noticed since last year when everyone was saying how great he was playing, he was regressing badly. That's continued now till no one can deny it anymore. But, yes, it's not just Wentz. Pederson going for it down 11 on fourth down. And you know me, I'm like all for going for it on fourth down. But situational football, your offense can't do anything. Make it a one-score game. This is not rocket science. To me, that's Pederson saying, I don't want anything to do with this. Right? He has plausible deniability or whatever. I need to get away from this. Howie Roseman, I mean, a lot of people stupidly passed up on DK Metcalf, Molly, who you and many others were saying, what about this guy over here? You should. But Howie Roseman was one of them. Howie Roseman passed up on Jefferson to take Rager, who was said he runs a 1.240. Remember, you heard things like he runs a 4.340, but at the combine it was closer to 4.5 and couldn't get separation at all yesterday. No, and by the way, and then drafts Jalen Hurts in the second round, who's clearly that's an indictment of Carson Wentz, but obviously Hurts isn't ready to do anything, or they'd have given him a more of a look so far. And by the way, Pederson, when he puts Hurts in, the offense is doing nothing. They have like 5 consecutive series with possessions with like they're 3 and out, they're 3 and out, they're 3 and out. They put Hurts in, there's a pre-snap penalty, and then he completes like a 6-yard pass. Immediately, Carson Wentz comes back in, right? So it's terrible Pederson, but I think it's almost intentional at this point. Pederson's like, I got to distance myself from this. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. He'll get another head coaching job. I think Roseman also, this stinks. The drafting Hurts doesn't make any sense under the circumstances. He keeps missing with the wide receivers, right, in terms of putting something together. And then obviously Carson Wentz. Guys, do I have to keep saying it? Do I have to keep saying it? The dude is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL right now. Stephen A., if you want to say, well, if Roseman and Pederson were doing better, he wouldn't be the worst, I agree with that. He'd be average, low average. The dude ain't getting paid average, low average. He has an immovable contract. Go ahead, find a taker for the contract. What have I been saying, like, earlier in the season? See if you can get Nick Foles for Carson Wentz. Not that Foles would do any better with this Eagles team, but at least you get out. Like, Foles has a modest contract. Wentz is getting paid like a superstar. So at least you get out from under Wentz's contract, and the Bears will get a mobile quarterback who at least used to be able to pass the ball down the field. Wentz was awful again. Stephen A., yes.
You're confusing me. You're confusing me. Are you saying the coach needs to go, the GM needs to go, or everybody needs to go? I'm lost. What are you saying?
I thought, well, the GM, the coach, and the quarterback is everybody. So I'm saying everybody.
Yeah.
I will just end by saying this and hand it to you. Carson Wentz was facing an historically bad defense last night, and he made them look like the '85 Bears. Right? They couldn't get, they had like negative 3 yards in their first 5. It was ridiculous. He can't do anything. He's shot. And I blame the enablers on the team and in the media who keep telling him how great he is when he keeps regressing. Why doesn't anyone tell him the truth? Carson Wentz, you stink. But there was greatness in there. But right now it's all messed up. You got to get better.
Okay. Now, before I go into my soliloquy, let me ask you a question, Max Kellerman. Are you aware of how old Carson Wentz is? He's 28.
27.
He's 28 years old.
28.
Well, I'm sorry. They said 28. I'm sorry. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it says right here he's 28 years old. What I'm asking you is this: at the age of 25, were we not saying that he was great, that he was on the verge of greatness?
Yep. He was.
Okay, so what I'm saying to you is where you and I part ways is that your criticisms are on point. But when we talk about cleaning house, that means everybody got to go. And I'm of the mindset that Pederson has to go, even though Pederson is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And do you know why I believe Pederson has to go? For exactly the reason you said. He don't look like he wants to coach this guy. He doesn't look like he believes in this guy.
Agreed.
He doesn't look like he believes that this is the guy that he wants to ride with. But the Eagles are committed, to $59 million to this man over the next year or two? He ain't going anywhere. So the fact that Carson Wentz ain't going anywhere because you're not going to get anybody to take those numbers, and on top of it all, you got to pay him those numbers. I'm sorry, the head coach, who used to be an offensive coordinator, who used to be a quarterback's coach, that dude has to be held accountable because that's your job. Now, if you were a defensive coordinator, let's say, for example, Max, he was Tony Dungy, or he was Lovie Smith, or he was Mike Tomlin or somebody. Hell, if he was Vic Fangio, well, guess what? Defense is your thing. I brought in a quarterback's coach. I brought in an offensive coordinator to work with this guy, and it's not working out. That would be different. But for Pederson, this is what you do. This is what you're supposed to do. Frank Reich was there as the quarterback's coach and the offensive coordinator when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. I get that. But damn, who brought Frank Reich on his staff? That was Pederson. He was a member of your staff. I'd like to believe y'all communicated. I'd like to believe there's a thing or two here that not only you knew and you taught him, but vice versa. He was able to impart his wisdom upon you so you could have a profoundly positive effect on the franchise quarterback. The fact that the quarterback has regressed, we know that he's had injuries and we understand it. But if we looked at Carson Wentz, Max, and saw him hobbling, if we saw that his legs were never the same, et cetera, I get all of that. But when you look at him and you see that he's healthy, that physically, even though he's getting beat up because the offensive line is trash, they can't protect him, he can't even step back to take a deep breath for crying out loud before they're all over him. Still in all, he's getting up play after play, quarter after quarter, game after game. So I have to look at the coach. You don't play, you're the coach. It's your job to figure out a way to maximize this dude's ability. When you talk about his regression, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm simply saying, wait a minute. When do we look at Pederson? Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.